Bangkok, or is it? It's actually getting to Yna and Michael here pretty soon. It's a little later in the day, and we're going to do part two of Yna's little land videos that she did when she was out there. Now, somebody told me, I think it was Brian told me, he says, you know, your viewers are going to retain about 50% of what they see, and I said at the beginning of the last video that my land buying is on hold for a year. So none of these I'm looking personally to buy. These are just showing you guys what's out there. And there's a whole debate on buying or renting or leasing. And I know you can't buy. And I mean, that's a whole nother video. I mean, I have thoughts, and I've got a pretty good business brain when it comes to this stuff. So I have some thoughts and some facts and some figures on why I think it's probably better to buy, even though it's a little riskier unless you're in a solid relationship. But we'll do that in another video. So this is going to continue on with these what Yna's did her tour on, and then we'll tackle that subject in another video. So, okay, so if you haven't watched part one, stop what you're doing. Go watch part one, because it's going to make a lot more sense if you see that first. So in part one, I showed you the map of the Bakong, the southern Negros area from Dumaguete. Now, these are all going to be in this area, the next three. Now, the first two I'm not too crazy about, and I think they're overpriced. Just like that very first piece that we did in part one, I think that was a little high. But Bakong is kind of a hot area right now, and I think people freak out when they hear some of these prices. But try to get prices like in Dumaguete, even just a lot, just like 500 square meters to build a house. Everything's location in the Philippines. If you really want to have your mind blown, go over to Bohol, down to Panglao Island, and I mean, it's insane what they're getting, 7,000 to 8,000 pesos a square meter. I mean, it's really crazy down there. So it's just like here in the United States or anywhere else, just location, location, location. Now, if you want that 50 to 100 pesos per square meter, you're going to have to go up in the mountains or out in the middle of nowhere, or really just get lucky and find a good deal. But people know what their land's worth. If you're going to be on a national highway, you're going to pay top dollar. If you're going to be in a subdivision, you're going to pay a lot of money. If you're going to be close to a busy town, or even not a busy town, even a barangay town, if you're going to be in real close to walking distance, you're going to pay top dollar. Prices are a lot higher than I think people realize. So anyway, let's get back to the videos. So this first one is in Bakong. I am not sure exactly where it's at. I think Yna says it's like a kilometer or so from the last one. So let's watch the land number two.
So the second land that I show to you is from the property to here in the proper Bakong is 2 kilometer, but from the property to National Road 800 square meter. Okay, yes. This area is also for sale. The trees, only mangoes, only coconut trees. From here, until here. Until here. Well, the coconut not much, and some is still young, but the road is not cemented. Look at the road. But from here down to the national road is 1 kilometer, and then this area is 1,700 square meter for 800 per square meter, 800 peso per square meter. Also belong to Bakong.
Okay, so that one, like I said, I wasn't too crazy about that. I think I've got here, it is 1,700 square meters. And if you don't know how big that is, let's say, I think it's about 4,050 square meters is an acre. A hectare, which is 10,000 square meters, is about 2.4 acres. So if that gives you an idea. So like 1,000 square meters is about a quarter acre. This is 1,700, so a little less than a half an acre at 800 pesos per. Things are pricey. That's like 1.36 million. So 1.3 million pesos, or about 20,000, 21,000. I'm sure I'm close to that. So like I said, that, there's no really trees on that piece of property. I wasn't too crazy about that. So if you like it, you like it. So anyway, let's watch the next one. This is the number 3 video, and this one is also in Bakong.
The shape of the land, it seems like rectangle. And then from here, then, but this is the right of way. This land is 2,500 per square meter. Okay. Then until to the house. But this is belong to this right of way belong to the land. But you must to give the right of way. Okay, until there. That house until here, but that house is not included. The house is not included. But this bamboo is included. No trees, no coconut, just only bamboo and the land. From here to proper and Bakong, almost 1 kilometer. And then they said this land is nearby to the airport, the new airport. Bakong is building of the new airport. 100 square meter. Tag pila ang how much per square meter?
1M na lang.
1M,
no? Oh, 1M. Tag 400 plus.
400 plus. Oh. 2,500 square meter for
That's a bargain.
400 square meter. So 1M.
And then very near the National Highway.
5 minutes naman.
2 kilometers siguro. No?
So, kilometers to National Road.
Nya ang upper anak dito ma'am. Ama minded po dito dapat na may agian sa kuan airport. Bro katong dito ba? Ito bang ito? Pag mo tayo ko nag-airport babaw ato.
Adi.
Oh, so this is near to the airport.
Oh.
The new airport.
Lower part.
Okay.
Okay, so that piece of property, I said, is a little bit better. 2,500 square meters at 400 pesos per. So that's $1 million. That's a little bit better. And the first one, I think I made a mistake. The first one, I think she said was only 800 meters from the National Highway. So the closer you get to the National Highway, the more expensive the property is. So, and this one's a couple kilometers. And a kilometer is like 0.6. Because I know if you're going 100 miles an hour, 100 kilometers an hour, you're going about 62 miles an hour. So a mile is 0.62, I'm sorry, kilometer. A kilometer is 0.62 of a mile. So a little bit more than half a mile. So if you go like 10 kilometers, it's only 6.2 miles. So it's not even 2 miles is a little over a mile. Or 2 kilometers is a little over a mile. I'm sorry. So when she says it's 2 kilometers to the National Highway, it's like 1.2 miles. So it's really not that far. Depends on the roads are. If there's a bumpy road, it can feel like it's 100 miles. But if it's a good road, it's not that far. If you get to the National Highway, of course, that's that's all the activity is. So that's how they judge land in the provinces or price it. Closer you are to the National Highway or closer you are to the barangay or the town, the more expensive it gets. So I was going to do, I edited this all together with all 3 of the videos, and it was over 20 minutes long. So I'm going to stop this one here, and we're going to show you the last one. The last one deserves to be on its own, because it is definitely tune in for the next one. I've never seen anything like this, and I'm pretty curious to hear what you guys think about this next piece of property. So I'm going to wrap this one up with these 2 pieces of property, and then part 3 will have the last piece. And once again, I'm going to say this once again, I am not buying this property. I am, if you look at the beginning of this one and the beginning of the last video, like I said, I'm taking your advice. I'm not rushing into buying the property. I'm going to wait a year. And one of my subscribers said that he gave me a piece of property to look at. I never called him. And I'm sorry. I just said we're putting everything on hold for a while with the property. Let's make sure that our relationship, let's go through that. Let's get married and let's spend a year together. And before we look at it, then we'll talk about buying some property or leasing some property if it's feasible. I just think that buying property is probably in the long run better and cheaper. And I'll make a whole video about this, and then we can discuss this. And you guys tell me your ideas. But for now, let's wrap this one up. I'm gonna just get out of here, and I'll re-edit the 3rd video. So. Stay classy, stay cool, stay kind, and we'll see you soon.